What's up? Justin. Back for some more. Couple things. You may have noticed I have an intro now. I've been working on that. Having a lot of fun. You may have noticed that the channel is called Prime Directive. Obviously, it's a nod to the Misfits. If you didn't know that, you should know that. So we're going to jump back into the CD collection here. I've got a stack of B's to go through. We're almost done with the B's. First, we're listening to Argoslant, Hornets of the Pogrom. Their third, last, final, I don't know if they're still around, album. Argoslant is the most underrated melodic death metal band ever. They're fucking incredible, and they get a lot of flack, a lot of shit for their lyrical content, but they're amazing, man. They're such a fucking killer band. This record's probably my favorite. They went out on a high note, but fucking love Argoslant. Related note, I'm wearing a Grand Belial's Key shirt, same guitar player, so if you don't like that shit, get over it. Question, what's everybody listening to? I want to talk about it. I have been listening to, for the past few days, the new Judas Priest record, which is fucking incredible. And if you don't think so, you're dumb. Okay, so into the B's. First up, we've got Black Witchery. I'm a pretty big Black Witchery fan. I've been into them for a long time. Funny story, the first Black Witchery I ever heard was the Upheaval record, their second full length. And, or first full length. I guess it was their first, no, it was their second full length. And I had to review it. And I thought it was fucking terrible. I gave it a really shitty review online, and it just sounded like garbage to me. And then a couple of years later, I got a copy of Hellstorm of Evil Vengeance, the split with Conqueror, and it clicked with me. I love this material. It's incredible. Black Witchery are one of the fucking cornerstones of war metal. They're just nasty, violent, just caveman, barbaric black metal. And I've gone back since in Upheaval. I love it. I guess it took a few years, and it took a little more knowledge of this genre of music for it to click with me. But I love that record. I don't have it on. I have the promo CD in a cardboard sleeve somewhere, but of course I've got it on vinyl. I've got 2 copies of the split with Conqueror. One's a really shitty bootleg that I think that someone just burned me a copy and made a shitty bootleg of it on computer paper. And then I have a legit copy. Came out on Dark Horizon Records. I've got a copy of Inferno of Sacred Destruction. This is a double CD. Came out on Hell's Headbangers. I believe there's a DVD attached to this. But I've got all of their stuff on vinyl. I think I've got everything they ever did on vinyl. I may be missing the 7-inch. Love Black Witchery. Over the past several years, I've befriended Impurath. I've hung out with him a little bit. One of my bands played with Perdition Temple a couple times. Of course, he was the singer from Perdition Temple. So me and Chris have hung out and then partied and played together. And he's a good guy. Fucking love Black Witchery. So next we've got Blasphemic Cruelty. Blasphemic Cruelty is a project of Gene Palabicki from Angel Corpse. This kind of existed in between Angel Corpse's second run and him starting Perdition Temple, I think. And Blasphemic Cruelty is kind of a more barbaric black death metal record. It's not as technical and vicious sounding as Angel Corpse. But it's got Alex from Ares Kingdom on bass and vocals. And this is a good record. Devil's Mayhem. I did the layout for the LP version of this, and funny story, this image right here, the pentagram and the devil, that original image that Gene made with cut and paste, he cut this out of a poster and put the pentagram together. I have that original piece of artwork somewhere. He mailed it to me to scan to make a shirt or a patch or something, and I've always had it. So Gene, if you ever want that back, let me know. And then we have Blasphemer. Blasphemer is a brutal death metal band. They are Italian, I believe. Yeah, they're Italian. This is Devouring Deception. It's just an EP, 5 songs. Blasphemer is more... They're brutal death metal, but they, especially on their new record that I don't have a copy of yet, they sound a lot like Deicide. I don't remember much about this one, but their new one is fucking killer. I need to pick up a copy of it. But they're good, riffy, brutal death metal. It's not as heavy, it's not as thick and guttural as a lot of brutal death metal is, but they definitely fall into that camp. They're a little more thrashy. So, then we've got Blasphemer, Texas death metal. This is Infernal Warriors of Death. Came out on Deathgasm Records out of here in Atlanta a few years ago. This is a killer, just super heavy, thick, fucking nasty, swampy death metal record. Wes Weaver is a guitar player for Blasphemer. Of course, he formed Imprecation back in the early 90s. And Wes is just a fucking death metal warrior. He goes way back, early 80s. He's integral to the whole Texas death black metal scene. But this is a killer fucking record. It's super heavy. It's super groovy. They're not a real fast, technical, incantation type death metal band. But they're just good fucking sludgy, swampy death metal. And this is a killer record. We've got 2 from Blasphemer. Blasphemer, of course, is a Italian kind of gas mask goat metal band. These guys are sick. They're real thrashy. They're not as abrasive as Conqueror or Blasphemy or Black Witchery or something, but they fall into that camp. And I've got for Chaos, Obscurity, and Desolation, which is their first record, and the Third Command of Absolute Chaos, which is their third record. And I guess I'm missing... This is either the first... I think this is the first one. So I'm missing the second one, but I have them all on vinyl. I did a lot of graphic design for them on various releases and t-shirts and stuff, and I've picked these up throughout the years working with Nuclear War Now. But they're good. I don't think they're around anymore, but I always really liked Blasphemer. They're just wild. They're just over the top as can be. Next we have Bladolv with 2. This came out on Total Holocaust, probably 2002, 2003. Just grim, fucking raw black metal. This is a little slower, a little groovier type of black metal. This is the only release I have by them. I have a tape, which is a split with someone. I can't remember off the top of my head. But this is good. I used to listen to this a lot back in the early 2000s. And I need to put it on again. Okay, next we have a record that is really special to me. And this is Buglets Infusion. Bloodlet was a hardcore band from Florida. Existed in the 90s. And Infusion is their second record. Came out on Victory Records in 95. And they're not your typical hardcore band. They're about as atypical as you can get. The only thing hardcore about them was the fact they were on Victory Records. But Infusion is this really fucking twisted, dreary, tortured, dissonant, just brooding, nasty record. You can't compare it to anyone. There's not breakdowns. There's not punk riffs. There's not shout out, gang vocals. It's nightmarish as fuck. It's almost proggy, kind of jammy in places, but it's dense and it's deep and it's fucking gross. But the song Eucharist is a personal favorite of mine. It's just this really fucking dreary, nasty, kind of esoteric kind of song. They reformed a few years ago, and I got to see them live in Baltimore. I went to a fest, and I saw them, and they played the majority of this record, except for my favorite song, and I was kind of bummed. But they sounded just like the fucking record. It was incredible. And that live set is on YouTube. Really great quality. I'll try to find it and link it in the description below. And they're back together. They're still playing. And I believe they're playing here in Atlanta either this month or next month. And I'm going to try to check them out. I also have their third record, which is called The Seraphim Fall. This came out 98, 99, somewhere in there. It was recorded from 97 to 98. This one's a little more dense. It's not as it's more linear. It's more contained. It doesn't have the punch that Entheogen had. But this was a record that you could kind of sink into. It was kind of trance-inducing. I remember falling asleep late at night at this one a lot. But it's good, but I don't play it near as much as I do Buglets. It's just, as Entheogen. Entheogen is just fucking untouchable. I have a really nice double vinyl reissue LP set of that as well. Next, we have a band that is really, really, really special to me. This was a local band from my hometown. These were all friends of mine. This is a band called Blood Shovel. And Blood Shovel, they would tell you that they were a punk rock band, but when you saw them and heard them, they were more akin to a really spazzy grind band or crust band. They were a little all over the place, but they're completely unclassifiable. Just nasty, punky grind. This was their demo. They did a cassette demo that was 2 songs that I have a copy of. And then they put out this demo, which was 5 songs. And I've got it there, all handmade by the band. They did a little booklet with thank yous, handwritten, hand-drawn. This was recorded in a studio in 1998. These guys are still friends of mine. I still talk to them. I talked to one of them on the phone just a couple of days ago. But this shit was untouchable. Blood Shovel only existed for about 4 or 5 years. They broke up around 2000. But they played a handful of shows across Georgia and the Carolinas and Florida throughout that time. And their shows were they were dark and they were scary. Eric, the singer, had a really, really deep guttural voice, kind of like Steve Heritage from Assuck. And they were just uncompromising. These fast, short songs. Bass player Nick also sang it a really high-pitched scream. And when they played that off of each other, it was just incredible. All of their songs never had names. They were just numbers. And throughout the time going to shows, we'd learn, play number 5, play number 7. And we just went apeshit for them. Dude, we were an army. This is all of us after one of their shows one night in front of the club. And then this live shot, there's me in the back. You can't really tell, but I have a cast on my arm. I was in a car wreck in 1997, and I had a huge cast on my arm for about 6 months. So there's me fucking mugging out in the back. This disc was their unreleased full length. There's 8 songs on this, and it was recorded after the demo, of course. All of these songs are on here, so there's 3 extras. But this was given to me by the band. They never did anything with it. So then I was asked a couple of years ago by Dan, who was the drummer, if I wanted to release it when I had a label. I operated a label called Obscure Vanity. And I like to release anything, black metal, death metal, hardcore, power electronics. I didn't want to put a cap on anything. So we got together and we put out this release, which we called Retrospective, which is everything that we believed was ever recorded. Did a digipack full of flyers, all the flyers and pictures of the band that we had collected over the years. And funny enough, this show was in Valdosta, Georgia, where I'm from, with Blood Shovel and Dawn of Orion, Mike Seatown's band. So that's the night I met Mike, back around, this was December the 18th. I think that was December 97. It might have been December 98. That's when I met Mike. And so this release, there's a booklet in here. So the booklet is more pictures and a retrospective written by some friends of ours about the band, and more pictures of shows and people going apeshit for Blood Shovel. But this was a really special time in my life, and when I listen to these songs, it just takes me back to that place. And it's really, really special to me. It was special to these guys, the 4 of them hanging out at a show. But this band's a part of who I am. And growing up, fucking hanging out with these guys and watching this band, I still put it on all the time and listen to it. We pressed a couple of hundred of these. It's a CDR in a digipack. That's the cheapest way to go. You can't press a couple of hundred replicated CDs on a digipack would be just an ungodly amount of money. But it's all pro released, and I've got 5 copies of it left. But I don't know if this is on YouTube. At one time, it was on the label's Bandcamp page, and I don't know if it's still up. If I can find it, I'll link it up for us, and so everybody can check it out. But Blood Shovel, this is just, they were the fucking sickest. All right, I got a couple more. Blood of Christ. Blood of Christ was an old death metal band from Ohio in the 90s, and this is a recent re-release on Dismal Records of their demos. And this is called INRI. They were a really thick, heavy, kind of romantic death metal band. Kind of brutal, kind of in the incantation vein. But Blood of Christ was just, they were fucking sick. And I had never listened to them. They were a band that didn't do much outside of their immediate area when they were around. But when I got this, really, really like it. And I haven't listened to it in a while, so I'm gonna throw it on later and get reacquainted with it. But this was some sick stuff. Okay, I've got 2 records by Bloodsoaked. Bloodsoaked is a very famous brutal death metal band. One of the first one-man brutal death metal bands like Putrid Pile or whoever. I can't think of another one. I haven't opened either one of these. I got these in that big trade I talked about, but I have listened to Bloodsoaked before, and I like Bloodsoaked, and I need to open these up and throw them in. I've got Brutally Butchered and Sadistic Deeds, Grotesque Memories, Insidious Decrepancy. That's what I'm thinking of as the other band, the other one-man band. Insidious Decrepancy is fucking sick. But Bloodsoaked, one-man death metal, brutal death metal, super riffy, super well put together. I think he's still around doing this shit, but I need to open these up and check them out. Last one for today, and this is a really fucking silly CD that I've had since I was in high school, but this is the Bloodhound Gang with Hooray for Boobies. Obviously not metal, but if you went to high school in the 90s, in the mid to late 90s like I did, the song, I can't remember what it's called now, The Bad Touch, was everywhere in 1990. This came out in 2000, so I was out of high school. I graduated high school in 1999, so I bought this after high school. But that song was just fucking stupid. This band is unclassifiable. They're pop, rock, grunge, punk rock, whatever, and they just write really stupid fucking pop culture songs. There's some hip hop in there. There's some electronic in there. But really silly songs about sex and drugs, and I haven't listened to this in years, but it's funny as fuck, and I'll probably throw it on now that I've pulled it out and checked it out. But I remember riding around, going skateboarding, and listening to this dumb shit all the time. So, the Bloodhound Gang. If you like them, let's talk about them. So, that's going to be it for this round. We're almost through the B's. We got a good little stack left for next video, and then we'll keep moving along. I've got a big stack of new CDs I've gotten in the past few days, so I'm going to do another video and we're going to talk about those. But let's keep talking about music. Comment, like, subscribe, tell your friends. We're a week deep into these videos. I've got a couple hundred subscribers. I'm really proud of that, and I'm really, really enjoying this, and I'm enjoying the feedback. So let's keep it going. Talk to you guys later.